feel when your numbers go up and they hear you. They start following your message cause they feel you. Haters in the rear view wanna ruin plans. Don't be startled, they just low-key fans. They tight like bands on the fresh stack. Knowing Rolo runs the city, bringing hip-hop back for the 51st year with my loquacious bands. Now this ain't no love.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rolo Runs the City podcast. I am your host, Rolo, and I am very grateful to be here in front of you guys today with another great episode. And we are going to get right into it. But before then, of course, you guys already know the particulars, man. Anything that is Rolo Runs the City, feel free to visit RoloRunsTheCity.com, as well as check out my socials at Rolo Runs the City podcast, as well as Rolo Runs the City music on Facebook and Instagram. And let's not forget X at Rolo Runs the City whenever I decide I want to get a little philosophical or, put some good messaging out there, you know what I mean? Especially like my Dear Son series, I exclusively not only do it for, I guess it's not exclusive, but you can catch it on YouTube or you could catch it via X. So I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Oh, yeah, and of course, feel free to check out the music. You go ahead and you look up Rolo Runs the City. You either get the podcast or the music. They both intertwine. It's all about getting better. Personal development, professional development, self-improvement. It's where it's at. Well, anyway, without further ado, we're going to bring you this show. And, of course, the title of this show is Daily Habits That Rewired My Life. Man, I will tell you this, and this is no lie right here, okay? All facts, no fiction. Mindset shift means nothing if your actions don't back it up. I think this is a very interesting take, and of course I thought this was a very interesting topic because at some point or another we all meet a crossroads, and I'm not talking about, heaven and hell. I'm not, we're not getting that deep. However, one of the things that I've realized is that most people want change, but don't know exactly how to go about changing. And for me personally, I've always wanted to make sure that I was going to be a creature of change and adaptability. However, also be a creature of habit, which entails great building. And I really wanted to get this done. And the reason why I wanted to get this done was because the results that I was reaping prior were not the results that I wanted. So with that being said, I do recall when I was in the service, never drank alcohol a day in my life. Went ahead, started consuming alcohol underage. Believe my first drink was when I was 19. And it's almost like you think, oh, this is a rite of passage and this is going into manhood. First of all, that's faulty thinking. I'm glad, knocking on wood, that I'm actually getting ready this December to go on 2 years of sobriety, which is amazing. I got to toot my own horn there, beep, beep. But it's not that I was a raging alcoholic or anything like that, but I just wanted to have a great sense of change in my life. And it's done nothing but bring great clarity. It keeps you from making bad decisions, anything life-altering. You guys know this. We've talked about it in the past. But let's get back to trying to mindset shift, but your actions not backing it up. For example, I see many people who go through weight loss. And this is all over Instagram, Twitter, X, all over social media, YouTube, wherever you get your socials, you're going to see a weight loss journey. But with that being said, that weight loss journey comes at a price, unfortunately, if you don't do it organically. And what's happening is you have many people who go under the knife. They either get a gastric done, which I get. You're really just trying to control your intake I don't knock that. But of course, this thing with the GLP-1s, Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro, I'm not promoting any of these things whatsoever. I just know the names. But of course, these are the brands, but the actual medication is called semaglutide. A lot of people have gotten into this fad of injecting themselves. They figure, oh, I inject myself once a week and then, I'll start dropping the pounds, because what it'll do is it'll block my hunger receptors. I believe it's ghrelin, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I'm not a chemistry major or anything like that, or into, big time in human anatomy and biology. I guess you could say I am. I'm no doctor. However, I do make sure that if I have a question about my own body, I'm doing the proper research. And there are many folks that are taking these type of drugs and they end up just really in a bad way. Bone density drops, muscle loss, because they're not going about doing things the right way. Not knowing that all they have to do is get an uptick on the protein, making sure that they're eating clean carbohydrates, a decent amount of fiber. Like I said, past episodes, we've harped on this before. But everybody wants the weight loss pill. Everybody wants the get rich quick scheme, and they want to skip and avoid the process. And I think that's one of the biggest flaws in human behavior. We're not willing to endure the process. We just want results quick. The way I look at it, time's going to pass by anyway. You might as well do things the right way. I believe I seen a video one time, they were talking about how you're basically draining fat cells whenever you're doing something that's very rapid. You're not really eliminating. I mean, I don't know if you can really eliminate them or not, but I do know that you can really deprive fat cells by doing things the right way. Getting your protein up, staying well hydrated, and of course, lifting heavy things. So the reason why I mention this stuff is because a lot of people want to really dive into getting these quick solutions, when in actuality it just leads them to despair down the road. You end up gaining more fat than what you lost, and there's no consistency built up there. It's no different than somebody who plays the lottery. They may have been playing the lottery for the last 35, 40 years, and then next thing you know, they win, and they drop dead like 6 months later, and that money, it was just nothing at that point. Because you can't buy yourself out of the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper's going to get you. It is what it is. Father Time is undefeated. So my suggestion is put your money away. Or you can give me $1 for every time that you want to go ahead and throw some money away, and I can tell you didn't win today. You didn't win today. You didn't win today. You can get about $20 and give them $2 back and say, hey, you won $2 today. I mean, that's basically what the lotto does. And whenever you're trying to do these get-rich-quick schemes or this weight loss pill, and that's just what you're getting. You're getting minimal results for your maximum effort of putting something into, in actuality, nothing. And of course, we're talking about money, right? It's the same thing with investing. I don't really recommend saving money. I think saving money is a great tool in reference to getting something that you need right there and then, just to have it to the side. But in reference to compounding your funds, then of course, you may want to invest, because you want that horizontal money. That's the money that you make while you're sleeping. People have various outlets, whether it's they do affiliate marketing, or whether if they're a day trader, whatever it is. They get into these entities that are going to pay them, whether if they're up or they're sleeping, which is absolutely smart to do. But if you're expecting a get-rich-quick scheme, it's not going to happen. Like I said, in order for the mindset shift to occur, you have to have the actions to back it up. You want to cultivate the field. You want to make sure that you reap what you're sowing. So you can't get discouraged. You got to trust the process, and you must be consistent. That goes with weight loss. That goes with avoiding drugs like Ozempic or, uncontrolled substances, of course. That goes without being said, right? And having financial discipline. I know for me, one thing that I used to love doing was going out to eat because, let's face it, right? Nobody wants to cook, right? I know how to cook. A damn good cook at that. But everybody wants to feel catered to at the same time. And even if it means you're eating crap food, I don't want to get into the details of what kind of crap, but you guys, burgers, fries, tacos, you guys know what I'm going to say. Whatever, right? But at the end of the day, you really want to ensure that you are feeding yourself the proper nutrition that you need. It's no different than any other discipline. In taking food, saving money, whatever it is. You can control your mouthpiece. My recommendation to you is whatever you cook, cook at home. And it doesn't mean go ahead and get you some, fried Twinkies or whatnot. Put them in the oven and say, hey, I ate in the house. Like you ate some ultra crazy processed food that you baked in your oven, and that doesn't constitute for anything that's virtuous either. So my recommendation to you is do what you can. Stay outside of the aisles. Keep it clean. Whole foods, produce, poultry, beef if that's what you're into. Whatever it is, make it happen. But you don't want to consume trash online either. And you are expecting to become better. This is no different than your diet. This is no different than your money. You can't expect to grow a net worth if you're consistently spending your cash. It's like, oh, it's liquid, It's like, okay, well, what do you got hold up in investments? Yeah, probably nothing. Okay, so I'm not telling you to be a hoarder and hoard your money. Of course, our economy, money circulates. Money makes the world go round. But just be smart at making your money. And if you're working hourly, think, man, how many hours did I have to work to buy these pair of Jordans? If you damn near had to work a week at your part-time job to buy a pair of Jordans, my recommendation to you, sir or ma'am, is to ensure that you buy something else on the low. Hey, go to Ross if you have to. They sell sneakers, brand name too, for $30 or $40. That's just my recommendation to you if you're into that sort of thing. I used to be at one point, and I'm not going to make it seem like that I never was a slave to the brands. But it comes to a point where you must be cognitively aware of what you are trying to do with your life in order to become the person that you need to become. And I'm going to tell you just like this, what Jordan eats doesn't make me crap. So therefore, I will not indulge in such behavior of copping the new Jordans. But of course, like I said, you don't want to consume trash online and expect to become better. That's, that goes with, food, your diet. You can't eat crap and expecting to be an Adonis. Not going to happen. And that's just basically what it is. Like, don't get discouraged. If you've created the problem, the best thing you could do about that is fixing it. You can fix the problem as long as you created it. Now, I understand there's a lot of people who can't fix many problems that do occur in their lives because it's not self-made. But whenever self-sabotage occurs, there's no excuse. As long as you know that you are the one who caused the issue, you are the one that can also fix it. All right. Now, for me, right, we want to talk about day in the life and daily habits that have rewired me to change this life of mine that I've always wanted. Okay. And I'm still doing what I can to ascend. I'm not being comfortable. I'm doing the best that I can to not peak, but always stay in ascension. 4:30 a.m. I wake up, man, and I work out. It is what it is, man. I've told you before. It's ugly. It sucks. I'm tired. And there's definitely no get ready with me video. I'm not getting up, putting my phone to the mirror, brushing my teeth, getting my Saratoga water and dipping my face. I'm not doing none of that crap, okay? Like I said, it's an ugly process. But in order to be the man or woman that you decide that you want to be, you got to put the work in the dark, man. You know, they said it best how, flowers, trees, whatever it is that's planted in the ground is what sprouts up when the sun's shining, but all the work is done in the dark, which means it's in the soil. So take that with how you will, but that work is going to be seen by no one, and you're not going to get any applause, but that's the process that you need to endure in order to get that applause that I guess maybe you're seeking later on. I really don't care about public validation. The most validity that I look for is keeping accountability and keeping credit with myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I need to do it. If I don't and I'm just pushing things back, then that deteriorates who I am as a person. Which means, is your word really your bond? I don't think so. And I don't like to feel that way. So therefore, you shouldn't either. I scan my day about 6:30. This is after personal hygiene and everything. See what I got on the docket for the day, what I got going on, whether it's finances, creative side, business side, whatever. I'm looking at everything in totality for that day to see what is priority, which is everything. Everything is 1, 1, 1, 1. It isn't from 1 through 10. It's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, because it's all major. And of course, on my last episode, I talked about living with intention. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And of course, I listened to a podcast shortly after I scanned my day. It could be a business podcast, personal development, whatever it is. It's something that has to feed my mind. And the reason why it has to be something nice, something crisp, is because no different than you not wanting to consume junk, so then that way you don't have a spare tire around your waist, is the same way that you don't want to consume junk and have that in your mindset. You just don't want it. You don't want it. They're empty calories. They don't mean anything. If I were you, I would get off of regular people TV, which is people just doing dumb reels, and do something that's going to enhance you. I don't care if you don't listen to me. That's okay. But listen to something that's going to make you better. We all deserve to laugh every now and then, truth be told. But don't waste your time on a clown that is just basically looking to go viral off of negativity. Like, that's just not the move for me. You know what I mean? And then about 7:30 a.m., we're working. Whatever's on the docket for that day, we are working. That's what it is. Whatever that work consists of that day, whatever requires my attention, that is what's getting done. And of course, with that being said, the work at that point is one of the most important things to me. So I do the best that I can not to get distracted, detracting myself away from the goal, making sure I stay goal-oriented and keep it moving. All right, my eating window is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. If I eat before that, kind of throws me off a little bit, throws off restroom breaks, and I'm creating some sort of an unpredictability when it comes to how my body responds, especially to food. Now, the only thing that's predictable about that unpredictability is that I know that I'm going to put myself in a world of hurt if I deter away from that path. Now, do I every now and then? Absolutely. It all depends on what the situation calls for. Like, if I got to go up to West Point, New York to go and visit my daughter, then, yeah, I'm going to eat a little something on the road. You know what I mean? Just to make sure that I keep myself going. A lot of people end up getting sleepy behind the wheel. I eat a little something, I drink me a little something, kind of wakes me up. So it all depends on what the situation calls for. But in the predictable sense of daily life, I'm making sure I'm eating within that 6 hour window. And of course, water consumption is absolutely important. And before I even get into water consumption, right, because obviously we need to stay hydrated, but tracking your food. If you're wondering why you're putting on a couple of pounds, you got to think about what's going in and what's coming out. Especially if you're sedentary and you're wondering, why am I gaining so much weight? You're probably not tracking your food and you're eating like a slob. You got to do better. You got to create some sort of a consistency in reference to your diet, what you're doing, and on top of that, what you're drinking. They say it's recommended to drink, I believe it's 1 ounce of your body weight. I'm not sure about all that. You know what I mean? I don't see a lot of you people that are about 230, 250 pounds and not healthy drinking that much water. I don't think that's accurate. I do know that it's a pound of, I think it's 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal weight. That I do know. But in reference to water, I'm not sure. I think for me, a safe barometer is at least drinking at a minimum of 80 ounces a day, regardless of how big you are. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying what works for me. But at a minimum, that's what I do to consume that water to make sure I stay hydrated. I do that. And of course, I don't want to flush out all my electrolytes either, going hydration heavy on the water. So I'll drink a little apple cider vinegar, hot tea with some Himalayan pink salt and a lemon, just to spice it up a little bit and to make sure that I don't pass out from overhydration, because that does happen too. I had a supervisor back when I was stationed at Fort Polk. This was, about 25 years ago. He about passed out because he drank about 7 or 8 Camelbacks. I think those Camelbacks are probably about 32 or 35 ounces. And he drank about 7 or 8 of them. And he had to get carted off to the hospital. And we were out there on the railhead, and we were receiving in a unit from Fort Bragg. It was the 82nd. They were coming in for training. And, we're working out on the railhead, and he just overhydrated. And next thing you know, he plopped over, man, and they had to take him to the hospital. And needless to say, he was hospitalized for a couple of days. And after that, he had sick call. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But it's just a funny memory. And then last, but most importantly, because it's certainly not least, is a mandated family time. I have a mandated family time that I make sure that I incorporate, of course, throughout the day. But of course, after that, once work is all said and done, I make sure that my family were eating together at the table. And it's not like when I was growing up, everybody would go kind of their own way. Like, obviously, we don't eat in the rooms. This is how you take care of critter control. We don't eat inside bedrooms. We eat at the dinner table. We talk about our day. We try to make sure that we leave a great open comms, because we want to make sure that we communicate. That way there's no sort of misinterpretation or miscommunication of any kind. We go over our day. And we commenced with good little, we're done eating. Let's go drink our H2O. And we're good to go. But now I also think about how my life would be if I didn't do these things, okay? Like 4:30 a.m. wake up. If I'm not waking up that early and I'm just relying on just not being that person that I want to be, dude, I'm dragging behind. I'm waking up late. Now I no longer run the day. The day is running me. It is what it is. I don't have an agenda. I don't scan my day. Now I'm like, what is it that I have to do? And then you're forgetting 1,000,001 things. And it could be the most menial task, but it can actually snowball and become an avalanche because of the fact that it was something that needed to get done that didn't get done. It could either cost you time or money. No matter what, it equates to pain. Don't do it. And of course, I listen to my podcast, but could you imagine if I was up and it's 6:30 and I'm just scrolling through Instagram, doom scrolling through Facebook, The next thing you know, I'm like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock. And I have done absolutely nothing because I've been just busy watching regular people TV, aka Instagram Reels. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And instead of working at 7:30, I am behind the eight ball because I was too busy watching an ass clown make a fool of himself. And of course, many of his friends, because that's just the way the algorithm goes. You watch somebody fall off a damn porch, and next thing you know, everybody's falling off of some sort of thing, a ladder, a roof, whatever. So you guys know how it is. It rolls downhill. And of course, my eating window being unpredictable. Can't forget, man, I'm over here eating Pop-Tarts at like 10:30, still enjoying these reels, right? Developing the spare tire around my waist. How about hell no? Okay, we're not doing that, you know. And you may want to make sure that you do everything that you can as well to not be on autopilot, realize what you're doing, don't board eat, and uptick on the protein. That's going to keep you from doing all that crazy stuff. And of course, stay well hydrated, but at the same time, don't throw off your pH, so then that way you don't pass out. And mandated family time. What? Dude, I'm tired. I'm not doing anything. It's time for me to go. Like, I'm going to bed. Like, you tuck the kids in, babe, and I'll see you in the morning. We'll see how I feel the next day. You're not going to feel anything but despair at the end of the day. Why? Because you're going to get up and you'll be like, man, I threw my day away. I didn't even spend time with my people. And next thing you know, everybody's pissed off at you because of the fact that, well, your phone, Instagram, whatever, was just absolutely more important than they were. And I want to encourage people right now, since we are on this topic about habits, adopt a new habit within the next 7 days. Just do it, man. Whether if you decide that you want to work out, whether you decide you want to try to wake up, you don't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I mean, if you wake up at like 7, 8 o'clock, you know, try waking up at 6 or 6:30. Don't wake up. And because I know a lot of y'all just wake up and just go to work. I know the only thing that minimum y'all do is just change your clothes and brush your teeth and just head out smelling like ass. Don't do that. You know, get up, be intentional. Even if you don't work out, take a good shower. Make sure you're up at least an hour and a half prior to leaving. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because you will not feel like you got hit over the head with a damn skillet when you get behind the wheel. You'll be up, you'll be alert, you'll be very aware. A majority of accidents that happen is because people just wake up and they go. I've been through stuff like that before. Not a fun situation. Therefore, you do what you got to do and make a better decision. But those are just some suggestions. Track your food. Drink some more water. Do something. Just get better and get 1% better. Even 0.5% better. Anything is better than just staying stagnant and not doing anything. Still water creates a whole bunch of mosquitoes that are in development to bite you in the butt. So don't do it. Don't be still water. Just flow. Do what needs to get done so then that way you can flow. Well, anyway, that is my episode for this week, man. And adopt a daily habit, man. And whatever your habit happens to be that you're going to work on the next 7 days, do leave it in the comments. Let me know. I love to hear what people got going on. That's what we're here for, man. We're building community. We're doing everything that needs to get done. So then that way we could be the best possible versions of ourselves we can be. But look, y'all take care, Godspeed. And always remember, man, Rolo tells you, and this is something that I live by because I am trying to be the greatest version of myself that I could possibly be. Ain't nobody going to be better than me. Okay? Be the goat, never a sheep, and don't sleep on your dreams. Y'all take care. Godspeed. Peace.